visual viewing.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A very good evening to you and welcome to Horizon TV. This is live real talk, and standing in for Faisal Qasim, my name is Zamzam Ahmed, and it's 16 minutes past 8 o'clock. It's really an honor having you on board with us. And tonight's conversation, we are talking about something that concerns you, something very important about team building. And in studio, I'm not alone, as obvious. When you talk about team, this conversation goes to the people who are in team. Whether you are at home, whether you are at work, maybe in school, we really need to work as a team. And our topic of discussion today is unlocking success through team building. We have Kate Mwangi, Flourish Team Building and Adventures. We also have Alex Mbogo, who's the CEO, Yana Team Building and Events. Hi guys, how are you?
Hello, Zamzam.
Karibuni sana.
Hello,
Horizon.
good evening.
Good evening too.
Yes.
Now we're talking about team building, and both of you come from a team building organizations, right?
Yes.
Maybe let me start with you,
Yeah.
Kate.
Yeah.
You come from Flourish Team Building and Adventures.
Yes.
Maybe you can get to know a bit about Flourish Team Building and Adventures.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Zamzam. So, my name is Kate Mwangi from Flourish Team Building. I am the founder of Flourish Team Building and Adventures. So, what we do actually through the name is to create flourishing teams.
Okay.
Like, if you would actually look the word flourish up, it will mean to thrive, to do well, to bad, to prosper, you know, to excel. That's what we want teams to do, to really excel, hence the name Flourish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're really passionate about teams.
Nilikuwa nashindwa Flourish, jamani, Flourish. Who really came up with that name? That's a very interesting name.
Yeah.
Okay, coming to you, Alex. Maybe you can get to hear about Yana Team Building and Events.
Amazing.
What does it do?
Yes. So Yana Team Building and Events is a subset of a company known as Yana Trekkers. Started back in around 2018. But Yana Team Building is a new company that started this year as a subset of Yana Trekkers, as focusing on the main division of team building. Okay. Yana in itself is an abbreviation for You Are Never Alone, and that is what we are all about. Okay. So when you talk about You're Never Alone mantra, we are talking about people working together, we are talking about mental health, we are talking about teams growing together to build something. And that is what we are all about. So we build teams. Even for Yana Trekkers, in all our adventures we have team building as part of it, to ensure that people do connect, people get together, and people grow together.
Okay.
Yes.
Also, Yana is an abbreviation.
Yes.
Okay.
For You Are Never Alone.
Never alone. Oh,
Correct.
that's really amazing.
Yes.
Now we're talking about unlocking success
Yes.
through team building. Alex, why is it important, or what are the importance of having a team building initiative?
Amazing. So when we talk about a team building event, first of all, we are talking about teams coming together, and in a practical way, especially using experiential learning to get to do activities that relate to them working together, and of course showing and teaching them directly in a very, very practical way in terms of how they're supposed to work together. Okay. So that is the main reason why the team building is very, very important for every single team out there. And definitely it is very important for teams to work together, because even Waswahili walisema kidole kimoja hakiwezi vunja chao. Yes, and when you work together you get to do things faster, you get to do things better, because every single person has their own strengths and weaknesses, and when we complement together we can be able to do much more.
Unajua sisi tunajua team, when we talk about team,
yes,
it's about sport, it's about football.
Yeah.
Now we forget that also team building refers to the people, to the company.
Correct.
People are working, yeah?
Yes.
Maybe you have something to add on the importance of team building?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, no, team building is just not another fun activity. You know, people think the first thing they hear about team building is about going out there, jumping, throwing the ball, running after the ball. It's actually not that. Actually, if you look at the history of how team building came about, and actually our founding father in the team building, Alton Mayo, in the 1920s, he actually did an experiment for the team building. You see, somebody who is in isolation by themselves versus the people in a team, the productivity. And he actually found the people in a team actually produced even more. So hence, team building started that time in the 1920s. So coming with that notion, I think somewhere in the middle there, it was distorted into fun activities, sports day, fun day, which is very good. Actually, fun is part of it, but it's not the real thing, the main thing. There must be what we call behavior change and business impact, especially for corporates. There must be a habit from you that changed. You were like this, Zamzam, before, and after team building, you are like this. Like we can do a comparison, a before and after story. That's the essence of team building. We want corporates and institutions to understand that team building actually is the foundation for the productivity that you want in your organizations and institutions. Yes.
And now we have two parts, two body that is involved in team building. We have the individuals, or rather the team that are there, right? And we have the organizers, or the people that are leading the team to the different activities. Now, when we talk about importance, how is it impacting the two sectors?
Yes, so if I got your question right, yes, it is important for both teams. One, the organizers, or in this case, the team building companies that come in, these are experts. So team building as a space is a space that definitely is still growing. At some point, it is some people do not consider it as a career, but for us it is. This is what we do full time. And what that means is that we have been able to invest a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of resources to learn and to get it right in terms of why teams working together is very, very important. And now, using all the skills that we do have, and because of understanding of the space, then we understand group psychology, we understand personal psychology, and we bring that together in a very, very creative way to have tangible results for these particular teams. So I think in a nutshell, that is how we impact each other. That for you guys, for example, if we pick HorizonTV as a company, when we get you guys working as a team, or rather as a group, we will ensure by the time we are done with you, you guys now become a team. And there is a difference between a group and a team. A group is just probably people who are just existing and they are not working together. And now, of course, team building is a continuous process. It is not a one-day event. And we try very much to at least spark and guide. No. You can't go for team building siku moja and then by the end of the day unasema ati kumekuwa na a lot of impact in the change. No, we want to walk with you through that particular journey. So, and definitely sometimes, of course, it's not possible to have many days for team building, but we will spark and guide you in terms of this is the way. At least we will give you a map on how can you be able to get to a place now where you can become a team. And we try as much as possible to work with companies even for long times to ensure that we grow them as teams.
And you know, when I'm sick, I go to the hospital. When I'm hungry, I look for food to eat. You know, when I feel like I feel sleepy, I take a nap. Now, as per the team building, what really informs the team building initiative?
First of all, before we do any team building exercise or with a company, before we get into that program, actually, the way he has said, it's not an event, it's a journey. Before we get into that journey with them, we do something we call pre-assessments. To find out the objectives of the team. Actually, you find it from the horse's mouth. You just don't come out and say, I think probably you're having a problem with this and this. No. Because assumption is the highest level of ignorance for any person. You first of all find out if it's an organization from the HR, procurement, and then they get to tell you so that you can be able to curate probably a proposal or a program that befits their needs. So it's important to understand, but I will tell you just the general principles of teamwork, of any teamwork. They always tie along these seven C's. We call the 7 C's of teamwork. Communication, we have collaboration, cooperation, cohesion, creativity, we have commitment, and the last one is celebration.
Okay.
You see, the 7 C's.
Yeah.
It always ties into one of those C's. So if you see a team that is lacking in one of the C's, probably communication, then we know what activities to bring. If you see a team that is probably has, there are loopholes, probably on commitment, on creativity, then we bring activities that really help in helping the team come up with the creative measures or whatever C that is lacking.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are the things that we always look at before we get into any team building program.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's really amazing. And when you talk about successful team buildings, and as the topic says, unlocking success through team building, what does a successful team building look like in a high-performing organizations, or rather, what are the key indicators of a successful team building?
All right. For a successful team building, definitely it's a process.
Okay.
And as Kate mentioned, definitely you have to first of all do the pre-assessment.
Yeah.
And then once you do the pre-assessment, you will go to the actual event where you try and implement what was, what if the objective you had was actually met. And now after that, definitely there is a follow-up. After the team building, one, we normally do a report, and after we also do the report, we follow up if the things that we actually noted were implemented. And apart from that, of course, we don't do it alone. We work with the companies, with the HRs, with the other part of the management. Like, for example, we will tell them we have these particular problems, and we give them solutions. This is how you can be able to address them. You can put, for example, a certain individual who has a certain strength working in a certain space.
Okay.
So then with that we are able to work with the team, and then definitely now if we have another event we will be able to now look at what we had reported last time. We do another assessment, and then now that process now keeps going. Every single time we have the same process, and we do that until we achieve a successful team. Yes.
And you said you do a analysis, or rather you first look at what the problem is, right? And is it something, once you identify the problem that is affecting the company, or rather the people from that company, and you take them through the process of the team building activities, how long does it take? Because you've said it's a process thing. It's something that is continuous.
Yeah, the program itself is continuous. For the pre-assessment, you see, it's just probably it will even be 7 days before the main team building, or even 5, depending on the client. Because others will tell you it's okay for us to do 2 weeks, 1 week, so whichever. As long as you have done a pre-assessment before, because there's going to be a post-assessment, you see, because we want to do what we call reinforcement. Chances are whatever is learned, you see, you might, just like he was saying, you may not get and understand everything and assimilate it today. Okay? But if we keep on reinforcing those activities and behaviors that we learned in the field, or sometimes it's indoor, in the class, we want them to translate from the field to your life, to the work. We want them to become part of you, not just another thing that we did on 26th of October or 15th of March, and then that was it. It was good doing business with you. No, we work with you through a reinforcement to ensure that those things stuck. Because we want to measure long-term memory, even in the post-assessment, not the short thing that you understood in the training or in the team building that day. We want to see, can you remember this thing 2 months later? Can you apply, leave alone just knowing? Because you see, most of the things we learn during team building are usually knowledge, information. Today you've known how to cooperate. You've known how to collaborate with Alex. I've known how to, do conflict resolution. But 3 months later, 1 year later, will I still remember the principle through the activity that we did during team building to apply? You see, the effectiveness of any team building and the success, like you're asking, is seeing behavior change. If there is no what you call BC, then it was not really a great team building.
Now, because you've mentioned that it's not all about, it's about the communication, and you've talked about the team building activities. Perhaps someone who is watching us right now hears about team building, and as mentioned earlier, we think that it's jogging, it's kurukaruka kule kwa uwanja, playing football, something like that, physical fit. Now, as per you, maybe you can give us the physical, or rather team building activities. What are these team building activities?
Okay.
Right, maybe I can help with
Okay.
that. Well, it keeps changing. Now, if we look at the history of team building and of what it has been known, is that you will even walk into a room and people tell you, hiyo siku kuje uturukarukishe, it was called like that. But definitely, there is something we call experiential learning, which is how we are transforming the team building to not just be known as the tug of war, the sack race, into now impactful creative activities that can be able to do that, to impact this particular team. And of course, you can be able to learn in very different ways. Now, for example, if we come up with an activity that involves this team working together, and working together in a way that they have to work together for them to win. So definitely we normally, as we start, well, we will start with, for example, ice breaking, and ice breaking involves different activities, and for ice breaking, this is for people to just let loose, to just become themselves. And then once they become themselves, without them noticing, we will get them into bonding activities. Definitely we can warm them up using sometimes music, and after maybe they dance, after that now we will get into bonding activities. This will make them get to know each other, they get to know about their characters, they also get to know each other's names, because sometimes you also get, for example, remote teams do not know each other's names. And then after that, now we creatively now get them divide them into teams, and then in this particular teams probably they are competing. And now when people start competing, then they have to do the activities in the best way possible for them to win. And in that, they are actually simulating what they do at the office. So and as they are doing that, then they will be able to use, for example, communication, leadership and all that, because you have team leaders. And as they do that, they are practicing what they ought to have been doing at the office. And just like that, after every activity, then we have a debrief session. Now we talk about, we reflect at the activity we have done, and then we see how does that impact us as an organization. And just like that, for example, even the leaders can be able to identify, oh, actually someone is very, very creative with numbers, somebody is a very, very fast person, this person can become a very good leader. So, because people just become themselves, and that is the beauty of team building. So, so it keeps changing, and it is in a very, very creative way. And definitely I think I can give it to Kate to give us maybe some of examples of some of the activities that we normally do out there.
Before you go to the activities, there's something that you've mentioned that really sparked my mind. People who don't know each other.
Correct.
Does it mean like we're having different companies coming together and do the activity?
Now, if you look at back at the COVID time, like I can even give an example with Yana team building and events. I have a team, and within that particular team, since COVID, after we closed our offices, since then we have not resumed back to the working at the office. Reason being, we actually got to know that we can have a virtual space of working. So you can work from home, somebody else is working, not even in the country and all that. So we normally even have teams, like for example, from all over Africa coming to Kenya for their team building. And on that particular day, some of them are meeting for the first time. Probably the only way they know each other is through that email that they normally CC, or they normally just meet using Zoom or Teams or whatever platforms they normally work at. So it means that these people have never met, they do not know each other. So you can have teams that have not met before but work together. So now how do you make them get to know each other in a very fast way? Because probably sometimes you have limited time. You have 5 hours for these people to get to know each other, they get to bond, they get to improve in terms of how they work as a team and all that.
Oh, that's interesting. And allow me to cut you at that point. We are about to take our first break, and we'll be back with more, starting with the team building activities that you're supposed to take us through. And with that, we'll be back with more on our second segment of the show, when we talk about importance and everything about team building. How do we unlock success with team building? Therefore, stay tuned.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. Verse of the day.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
وعباد الرحمن الذين يمشون على الأرض هونا وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما والذين يبيتون لربهم سجدا وقياما والذين يقولون ربنا اصرف عنا عذاب جهنم إن عذابها كان غراما إنها ساءت مستقرا ومقاما.
Are you looking to stay informed about the amazing stories within the Muslim community? Do you want to hear inspiring stories and insightful discussions about faith, culture, and current events? Tune in to the Muslim Insight, your weekly news updates where we tell you stories that matter to you. The Muslim Insight, informing, inspiring, every Friday from 8 a.m. with me, Zamzam Ahmed.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون.
Enyi mlioamini, munapoitwa kuhudhuria swala ya Ijumaa, fanyeni haraka kuikimbilia, muache biashara zenu, hilo ni bora ikiwa mwelewa.
Isikilizeni kwa umakinifu hutuba ya Ijumaa
ili uzidi kujenga imani yako na kupata faida nyingi ya siku hii.
Coming to you every Friday from Jamia Mosque, Nairobi.
Live on Horizon TV.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back and thank you so much for keeping it at Horizon TV. This is our second segment of Live Real Talk and we are discussing on unlocking success through team building. We were looking at the importance, we were looking at the key indicators of a successful team building, and before we took a short break we were looking at the team building activities, the different team building activities that are incorporated within the time of doing the team building. We were talking to you, Madam Kate.
Yeah.
Maybe you can take us through the different activities of team building.
Oh, okay. Like I mentioned before the break, Team building is just not another fun activity, okay? And I have nothing against people who are not into the field of team building, who are doing team building, because we have them. You find people, if you go to the beach today, and I have nothing against them because they're doing a noble job at earning their livelihoods. If you go to the beach, you'll find beach boys, and they will tell a team, I do team building, and then they'll help them, you know, jump a little bit. If you go to the gym today, they say they do team building. The gym are trainers, but you find that their team building is probably not the way me and Alex, and now into the association we are in. We are in an association, by the way. It's called Association of Professional Team Builders. You find like over 300 of us are there to do what? One thing, to standardize the industry, to make it align with the values and the core values of an organization. We want the client to understand, oh, so it's not just about jumping. Oh, so it's not just about me throwing the ball and things like that into the ocean. And then they get to know, oh, yeah, it's about this. Because I can tell you, from a simple activity as putting just a puzzle over here, okay? From just as that, it can take up to 3 hours of us just getting to understand the principles behind that. Yet it was just a very simple activity of communication. I can take 3 pens and we organize something here. And I tell you, we'll stay here for 4 hours. Right now, it's already almost 9. We'll take up until 1 a.m. just trying to understand the principle that we got from that. So it's not really in the complex of how much materials I have. We call them props in our world, okay? It's not about having that, because sometimes we do even material propless activities. And I tell you, they really, you find even the director, you find even somebody in an organization, they have been dealing with that issue, and then all of a sudden they look at it from a different angle, from a different perspective. What am I saying? We are changing the narrative of team building, all right, to make sure that it aligns with the values of organization, and it helps them become more productive. I tell you, I can mention about many activities, because we have right now we are having a generation Gen Z, okay? In the same organization, you have Gen Z, and you have millennials, and you have even old people who are 70 years, and all of them must do team building. So you, as a facilitator, what do? And you have all these age brackets brought together. So it's even me as a facilitator, I need EQ, emotional intelligence, to understand how to handle all these people. That's what I'm saying. It's just not us jumping. We must be mentally and psychologically upright. You see, we need to level up our game to help organizations scale. Otherwise, we may not be able to handle such teams. We have people with disabilities, blind people in our association. People are dealing with the blind people. People in what are they called? Wheelchairs. Yes. People are doing team building. It was not a thing in the past, but right now people are understanding, oh, it's not about this, because right now we are even doing brain challenges, mental challenges, where it's not, I'm not physically tired. You know, people thinking it's about running. No. You just sit down for like 3 hours to just, you know, with a brain challenge that helps you think critically out of the box. Yeah, that's what.
Now that she has mentioned the different categories of people, we have older people, we have the Gen Zs, we have the millennials, we have PWDs. Now, when you talk about team building activities, how can team building activities be tailored to the different people, the different types, and the different teams?
Yes, that's a very good question. And as we talk about teams, definitely we are working with teams that have diversity. And diversity is not something that we should be against, or we should have team building can only be done, for example, in the organization for the Gen Zs. No, we're supposed to include everybody. So now this is where we also look at a professional when it comes to a team builder. So for the team builder, or the person taking you through your team building, should be able to come up with activities that can be able to balance them all. So I've been, for example, myself in a team building where I had a person who was deaf. And good thing is I had a background myself of sign language. So, and in that particular day, well, there was a translator, but some of the things I could be able to just sign them off and tell that particular person and make them understand what I am trying to say. And I think the most important thing when it comes to a team builder, we talked about the team building brief. So the team building brief will tell you one of the questions you have to ask is, what kind of team do I have? Do you have? What is their religion? Like, for example, when we are doing a team building that has a Muslim lady, we can't have people holding hands. You see? Now, if you are a person who doesn't understand that, and then you force that person to do that, you see, you will make them uncomfortable. So as a team builder, you need to be a person who understands these differences, and then apart from that, you are able to curate activities that will be able to balance all these people. So sometimes you will need to separate them and have special activities for teams that cannot be able to do some of the activities. But most importantly, if you have a team, most of the times you will see, for example, if it's a PWD person, it's difficult to have, unless maybe it's an organization that just deals with PWD people, that you have everyone who has that. So you're not, most probably it's 1 person, 2 people, 3 people. So you're supposed to come up with a creative way to bring them on board and to ensure that they get to enjoy and learn together as a team. Sometimes you can even have a team building while seated. You don't have to necessarily run, and that is what we, as of course the Association of Professional Team Builders, are trying to bring on board to ensure that all the facilitators are well equipped. And they can be able to preach the team building education to all these people. Yes.
No. And under these team building activities, or rather this team building initiative, I believe there are challenges. What are the common challenges in team building initiative, and how do you cope with them?
Okay, I think personally, the major challenge that I face, especially when people hear team building, in an institution or corporate square, and they hear you are going for a team building, the first thing that comes to people's mind, the first thing, the top of mind is what I'm looking at. They think, oh, finally an off day where I'm going to, some people think it's a day to go and drink the entire time. You see, they even carry the alcohol, you know, into these team building places. And you actually, as a facilitator, you wonder, did we call for a team building, or what did you say you're going out for? You know, so that thing has really, we are trying to change that narrative, because we want, the first thing that when you tell your people it's a team building, they'll be like, oh, time to learn, you know, time to get 2 new skills that I didn't know, time to, to know Alex, somebody that I didn't get to know on face value, because right now I know personality, now I'll know him in his other spheres of life, other than just the person I see in the office. Those are the major challenges we are facing in the industry. The notion that is there, we are changing it a day at a time, and it's actually really working, because you find a team building company giving you business over and over again. In 5 years, they'll become loyal to you. Why? Because there's something that changed. Why they stuck on you? You see, it's because they saw, oh, year 1, we were able to go from here to here, because they can measure ROI and ROE, return on expectation, return on investment. They can tell that clearly before team building, it wasn't like this. And we have seen that in our recommendation letters. We have received that lots and lots over and over again. So when we see that kind of a change that is changing a day at a time, like I said, it's not an event, it's a journey. We are grateful when you're working with the people through this team building world.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's the major challenge that you've encountered while doing the team building. All
right. There is that bit, of course, the top of mind kind of a thing. And then during probably team building, all right, you find there are people who are really, they've put a wall for you to crack that wall, because like I tell you, we're dealing with different personality types. People who are very, you know, in their world, you can't hack in, you can't just get into their world like that. So before that wall comes crumbling down, there's some work that you have to do as a facilitator, because you can't push, you can't get into this person's throat and shove it down their throat. You see, if they don't want. And at first you find like, oh, people are seated over there, they really don't want to come. Until now you realize, oh, that's why I said as a facilitator, you need EQ to know what am I supposed to do to that person who is seated over there, because I can't force them. They are even 70 years.
Wanasema Waswahili, huwezi lazimisha punda kunywa maji.
Yeah, but unataka kunywa maji because you know the impact. You know, how will you make that punda sitaita punda ikuje kunywa maji.
Okay.
Yeah, because you want everybody to benefit, so for there to be margins in the organization, and for them as because you find most of these principles that you learn in team building, they not only apply in your organization, even into your own personal life, into your own personal sphere of life, in so many other areas, spiritual, physical, mental, psychological. You want that to translate.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, it's all about communication, right?
Correct.
Now, how does communication influence team building initiative?
All right. That's a good question. And in a nutshell, definitely communication happens. Like, for example, right now, you have asked me a question.
Yeah.
It has gone through air, gotten to me. If I understand what you intended to ask, and I give you feedback, and you receive it and you understand it, so that means communication has happened.
Yeah.
And definitely now that is what we normally try to bring out, and that is just one of the values of virtues that we try to instill through the team building initiatives, and definitely through creative activities that we can be able to do that. Like sometimes an example of an activity that can be able to illustrate that in a very simple way. You are lined up in one straight line, and then I show you like for example, you are facing the opposite side. I tap the first person, the person faces me. I show them a set of actions where we are not speaking. And that person is supposed to turn and show the next person, and the next person is supposed to show the next person. If the last person shows exactly what I showed the first person, it means that communication took place. And that is what normally happens in an organization. If information is flowing from the boss all the way to the person who is down there, or if a customer comes to your organization and they speak out, and you give them and serve them exactly as they intended, it means that communication is happening. So communication is a very, very important element, and it influences every day's activity in any organization. In a nutshell, I think that's what I can say.
Okay, that's interesting. Now we have leadership, and what role does leadership play in team building? Kate.
Okay, the role that leadership plays in team building. You realize it's not about, I think, I don't know if you've read the book called Leaders with No Title. All right, you find that during team building, that's when you get to find out, oh, this person, the way they have actually, carried the activities, how they have even carried themselves, and how they've been able to handle stuff, then this person must be actually in the team building front. Why? Because you find sometimes people, during team building, when you start and then you ask who's going to be the leader, people volunteer sometimes, and they tell you they'll be the leader until pressure mounts up. And they find the other competition from the other team. In the real world, competition is from your, for example, if you're doing this business, your competitor out there, your rival. Okay, when the pressure starts coming in terms of them, grabbing your clients and taking over the market share, how it's supposed to hold up, then you find during those activities, you see the real leaders. They come out. Because when the leader who had a title, who said, I'm going to be the leader, because they felt it was a fancy thing or so, then you realize they cannot really take up the leadership. Because why? They cannot even take the pressure. Somebody else steps up, even they are not willing to be called the leader, or they don't care about the name, but because of the situation at hand, they level up. They come up, and you notice these kind of leaders. And it's actually I've seen even during my team building sessions, where even the CEO would actually ask you kindly in a discreet way, kindly let me know who are the people that you feel, we call them the MVP, most valuable player, who are able to bring substance during the team building. Probably I need to notice them. Probably I've been too busy with my work, not been able to notice them. And you find, like, we point out 4 or 3 people, and they'll be like, okay, we're going to work with these people. And it turns out that they have been the most critical people they needed in their organizations because of team building. Were it not for team building, these people will not have been promoted. These people will not have been given other dockets in the organization to run. But during team building, you're able to see the real person. The people who are cowards, who take a back step, and people who show up now. Then you get to see now leadership is taking place. Because leadership is just not in people, because you find even the people who have been given jobs and titles in the organization, they take a back seat during team building. Then you realize, if you're doing that, now how do you expect the people in your department to be like? So
people think that leadership is just a name.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the funny part, by the way.
And I think maybe I can add something on the same. When you look at different activities, you will realize that the different activities, because they are different, some are involving physicality, some are involving creativity, and other different challenges. You will realize that different activities have inside the teams different leaders. You have that particular person who takes that particular challenge. So it tells you that one, ideas can come from anyone, and that every single person within a team really matters. And just like that, sometimes it is actually important to realize as a leader to learn the importance of delegation, that yes, I am the leader, but also this particular person is very good at this, and I think it is important if they take charge for this particular project, for example. And for example, if you look at my t-shirt, you will see different colors. You will see blue, green, red, yellow. And those are actually personalities of different people represented in an organization. And definitely, if we had more time, definitely you can be able to break it down and see, for example, what the blue represent, what kind of a person, the green, the yellow, the red person.
I had to break the news for you because time is almost
definitely you can be able to tell
you can
that.
Plan some
yes,
other time.
Definitely. And what we can be able to say, you see, even for example, in a very short time, we cannot be able to do a lot. So it's supposed to be a continuous process. And it's important for any team to realize that you see, like for example, hii chain ya bike vile inakuanga, that every single part of that particular chain is important. And we normally say that a chain is as strong as the weakest link. So it is important that you bring every single part of the chain together for the organization or for any team to start moving forward. So embrace the strengths, embrace the weaknesses of these particular people, position people where exactly they're supposed to be, and just like that, they will be able to work together as a team and bring the organization moving forward.
Now, due to time, because I feel like we still have more to discuss on this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll schedule another time for that one. Okay. No problem. Now, we have those companies, those organizations that have never done any team building, you know. Now, what advice would you give them?
All right. I would say, if you know better, you do better. The reason as to why probably they don't even know, they don't know even what better is. They are already comfortable with where they are at until they experience the better and and interact with that better. And then again, another thing is ignorance. You see, you're like, there's team building, but you have never like taken your people through this session. I don't know what narrative is in their mind. Probably it cost, probably to be cost or something of the sort. So ignorance is no bliss because it's costing your team. You see, by exposing these people, you just never know what potential you have. We always say the greatest asset in every organization. We have 4 P's that are foundations and principles in an organization. We have the process, we have the price, the place, and the people. I tell you, the biggest asset is the people. Unlocking the potential of those people is the greatest thing that any organization can ever do. I tell you, people will surprise you when you open them up to and expose them to team building. So I will say, because ignorance is no bliss, it's time for organization and institutions to level up. Because we are here, we're over 300 of us in this team building association. Yeah, the magic happens when you believe in your people.
Perhaps we have your parting shot to the people watching us, Mr. Alex.
Yes, amazing. Thank you for having us, and that we are very happy people that right now we're actually talking about team building. It's an amazing tool, definitely to invest in the people, the most important element of that particular organization. So it is important that you invest today. And definitely, even as you invest, you can check us out. We are Rihanna. You are never alone. Team building and events, we handle the whole process. One from the organizing the team building to giving the logistics. You need transport, you need a venue for the team building, and as well as facilitation. And definitely you can even opt for a facilitation only package if you have everything else sorted out. So invest in your team today. build your team today.
Okay. I wish we had more time. We could have done one activity here that does not require us to jump.
Very true,
Oh yeah,
very
but
true.
we'll figure out that one next time when we meet again, inshallah.
Yes,
And
yes.
thank you so much, guys, for coming here tonight. Sorry, it was really a very nice conversation. It's all about team building. It's very important as a person. You are in a team. You are in an organization. Make sure that you avoid ignorance. It's very important that you come together, work as a team, and it has been said team building is not about the activity like kurukaruka, as has been said. It's more of that. Until next time, but we can meet tomorrow for the Muslim Insight Show. Standing in for Faisal Qasim, I was Zamzam Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.